The Battlefield 6 beta was a huge success. With millions of people playing over the 2 weekends, this game had everyone's attention. But the real question is, why was it so successful? Was it the different game modes, the variety of weapons, or the fact they didn't have a Nicki Minaj skin in the game? In this video, we'll get to the bottom of it. Let's get into it. Okay, so let's start off with the most obvious thing is the amount of content in the beta alone. Most betas that you play give you maybe 1-2 modes, maybe give you 1 or 2 maps along with that, just to give you a small appetizer of what the full game might be like. But Battlefield 6, oh no, they wanted to show everything they're capable of. I mean, they gave you everything. They gave you Conquest, Rush, Squad Deathmatch, Breakthrough. They gave you almost every major game mode in the game for you to play on multiple maps as well. Essentially, even if you weren't a true Battlefield player, there was something or some type of game mode in the beta for you to play. That's why we saw so many people playing it, because there wasn't just Battlefield modes or just modes subjected to Battlefield. They tried to cater to as many audiences as possible, and that's why it was so successful and so many people played it, is because there was just a little bit of everything for everyone to play. And that's really important to say, because what blew me away is that the beta did not feel like a beta at all. This felt like a finished game. I didn't ever feel limited in the game modes that I was playing. I never felt limited in the maps that I was playing. Granted, there were only 4, but because they shrink some of the maps in the smaller game modes, I didn't really feel like I was playing the same map or the same game mode over again. And I think that's really important, because that shows that EA and DICE are confident. Like, they're saying, hey, we're confident in the product that we've built, so let's just let all the players get a real authentic taste of it. Let's not just give them 1 or 2 game modes and 1 or 2 maps and tease the game until October. They're like, no, this is our game. We're going to give you everything that we got, and you're going to get even more in October. So I thought that was really important, and I think that decision will pay off in the long run. The second thing that made the beta so successful was the focus on gameplay. No microtransactions. There were no distractions, no battle pass prompts, no item shops, no microtransaction menus were popped up in your face every time you finished a game. And today, in today's gaming industry, you see that a lot. And to not have that in a game, granted it was only a beta, that's still almost unheard of, especially that they knew this game was going to get so much hype. I didn't see a single one, and I think that's really important. A lot of people really liked it. I mean, just as an FPS community, think about all the shooters that we've played. Before you even get into your first match, you're already being told about like the different skins you can buy, and you know, the premium packs that come with those skins and things like that. So Battlefield 6 went to the basics, right? And it wasn't just about gameplay, it was just the overall feel of the game. And that's why people resonated with it so much. Them doing that made every match feel more immersive, because you weren't thinking about the cosmetics or grinding for a pass. You were just playing, enjoying, having fun. And that's what a beta should be about, right? It should just focus on the gameplay. And it felt like DICE and EA genuinely cared about testing their game and hearing from the players, and not just testing how much money they could squeeze out of us come October. The third thing I want to talk about is something that's in the future, but custom maps leading to infinite content. If you guys didn't know, when the game fully launches, you are able to create fully custom maps in Battlefield 6. Granted, there is a sign up for it. You have to go through some hoops to do it. But if they do this right, you could play any map you want. A lot of people in the beta were 50-50 on the maps. Some people liked them, some people didn't. But the beta is just the beginning for that, because the real potential lies in October when the full game releases. And the biggest game changer for that could be a custom map creation. Like, that could be so huge. No other game is really doing that. I know I sound like a broken record, but if EA and DICE pull it off, Battlefield 6 can have infinite replayability. Imagine the community creating hundreds, thousands of maps, everything like of remakes of old Battlefield maps, even some Call of Duty maps, creating like maps that we've like never seen before. Every week you could log in to the game, you could boot up the game, and you could play something brand new. And I think this is smart from their side, because it's not just like having fun, it's a cheat code for keeping the game alive. One of the biggest things that as a Call of Duty fan I struggle with is the maps on the game. Yes, Call of Duty has a lot of great classic maps and I love when they bring them back into games, but we want to see something new as well. We want a little bit of creativity as well. And that's one of the biggest reasons I think games die so fast, is because people just get bored of playing the same maps over and over again. But if the players themselves can make those maps, the problem disappears. They're giving the solution to the players. Like, hey, we know the maps get boring. You know what? Here you go. Here's the key. Make as many maps as you want to. You can play with them all you want. That's genius. And quite frankly, that's something that Call of Duty and most other FPS games don't offer right now. So that gives Battlefield an extreme edge. But like I said, if EA and DICE pull it off right, that could be huge, but we'll have to see how that pans out in October. The next reason I thought the beta was so successful is because there is no real competition outright. Now let's be real for a second. Call of Duty is always going to be a giant. They've got the name, they got the marketing, they got the sales, but people are just tired of the same formula Call of Duty gives out every single year. Like I said in my other video, they drop a serious trailer, they hype up the campaign, people love it, and then by December, you got SpongeBob and Nicki Minaj running around. But so far in the beta, Battlefield 6 has shown us that they're a little different. And I think the beta showed us that they're not trying to be flashy, they're not trying to be goofy, they're not trying to incorporate anything Call of Duty is doing at all. And I think the timing of that couldn't be better, because gamers right now are more desperate than ever to find a grounded, rewarding FPS game. For 2 weeks, they gave us a taste of what Battlefield really is about. And not only did it bring back those veterans, you know, who've been waiting for Battlefield to really come back after the flop of 2042, but also caught a lot of attention of Call of Duty players who are going to be switching over to Battlefield 6 as well. In my opinion, I think that's a win-win, and I think it perfectly positions Battlefield in a place for it to be successful. And finally, the last and most important reason why the beta was so successful was the community reaction. These video game companies can say whatever they want. They can put out whatever press, media, video, content, everything. Ultimately, it comes back down to the players. What are the players saying? What feedback are they giving? Are they enjoying it? Are they not? That is what dictates how good a game really is. So I had a lot of interesting comments on my TikTok and YouTube videos, and I want to go through some of them in this video. I want to start out with this comment from Stoner Deer. He said, bro, don't consume short form content on your phone, and every game you like can feel like that again. It hacks their brain and makes it to where you expect that dopamine right away. I thought this comment was interesting because it shows what Call of Duty players are kind of like. Think about it for a second. What is Call of Duty about? Super quick revives, small maps, intense matches. It's all about the kills. You want to get in the action really, really fast in Call of Duty. And I'm not saying all Call of Duty players are like this, but if you really think about it, the short form content that we take in every single day, we just want that next video on TikTok, right? We swipe away on Instagram or TikTok. We want that next video. We want that dopamine again. Call of Duty is kind of like that. I found myself playing Battlefield, and every time I died, I would be spamming the revive button, because in Call of Duty, when I die, I don't even watch the kill cam because I get so angry that someone killed me. I'm just spamming revive trying to get back in the game again. But with Battlefield, you have to slow down, especially in the bigger maps and the bigger game modes. When you die, you have to wait 5 seconds to get redeployed again. And I thought it was super interesting. In those 5 seconds, I would be spamming, and I thought to myself, wow, I'm so brain rotted in my head of playing Call of Duty and try to respawn in multiplayer so fast and just be kill hungry that I'm just not being more tactical in the game. And that is what Battlefield is. It's a tactical conquest game. That's what it's called then. This comment by Monty Cat said, COD versus BF debates all over the place. Please, like the good old days, we're so bad. Bro, in my comment section, there was just full-on arguments going on, man. Some people said they were COD people. Some people said they were Battlefield people. Some people said they didn't like the beta. Some people said they did. All in all, it doesn't matter. It's a game. You can play whatever game you want. But I think those arguments do bring back a little bit of nostalgia. I'm not gonna lie. This comment by Kel says, I'm a longtime COD player. I'm enjoying Battlefield so much more. I love that I'm a cog in a bigger machine towards victory rather than aiming for most kills. Battlefield is a team objective based game, while Call of Duty is a kill hungry game. And there's nothing wrong with either one. Whatever you prefer, you can play, but that's just the reality of what both games are like. If you're big on KD and you just want to get as many kills as you can, maybe Call of Duty is the game for you. But if you want to play a more team-based, objective-based game where you can contribute in different ways, then Battlefield is a game for you. Now, a lot of Battlefield players were going after the COD players, especially this guy, No Pants Wolf, said, "Newsflash to all COD wannabes in Battlefield. Your 80 kill spawn camp means nothing if you can't cap a flag. You're not a pro, you're just dead weight with a high KD and zero impact. This isn't COD. Stop playing for ego and start playing for the win." People have to remember that this is a beta. It's completely free for people to play for 2 weekends. Everyone and their grandma is going to get the beta. But when the game fully comes in October, people have to pay real money to play that game. So they're not going to be just random people playing that game. There's going to be people that actually want to play the game, have fun, do objective. So if people are worried about what the full game will look like, it will not look like what the beta looks like nowadays. You Mango said, "God forbid new players don't immediately know the ins and outs of the games they likely haven't played before." Now, as a Call of Duty guy myself, this was my first real Battlefield game, and I didn't even know how to play objective correctly, if I'm being honest. It took me a few games, it took me a few hours to actually understand what each game mode was, what I had to do. And then after doing all that, I kind of realized, okay, it's objective based, not kill based. So Battlefield players need to just let COD players kind of ease into the game. We're not going to know everything right away. And this comment kind of goes off that too. Hector Soto said, "It's crazy. A lot of people moving over, and instead of letting them learn over one weekend, people raging. Community toxic before the game goes live. I've played Battlefield for years and it's been like that, but now we are just blaming COD players." I mean, I have to agree. It's only been 2 weekends of the beta. That's not a lot of time for people to understand how the game actually works. And like I mentioned, the game in October is not going to look like the game right now. This is the beta. It's free. Everyone and their grandma can play it. When the full game comes out, people have to pay real money to play that game, and they're not going to just mess around and play that game. They're going to actually want to win. Said, "If you are a true Battlefield player, you must know this has been a thing for all of Battlefield's existence. This is why you are able to distinguish between veterans and rookies, but all veterans were rookies once. I remember a guy on BF4 telling me to stop looking for high ground to snipe, and it was too obvious. He taught me something. Let's just be patient and help our rookie friends." Thank you, my man. Hundreds of thousands of people are playing the Battlefield 6 beta for the first time. So of course, they're not going to understand how to play the game, how to play the game modes, or even know that it's an objective game over a kill hunting game. In this comment, Magpie said, "I've been playing COD for years and I'm trying Battlefield for the first time. Played exactly like that for the first rounds because I didn't know anything about the game and its mechanics. Naturally, it didn't work out well. Did some research, changed my playstyle, and now I'm having a blast." And I can confidently say 90 to 95 players who play Call of Duty are probably playing this game and felt the exact same way. They were just going in kill hungry, trying to get as many kills, and they're like, why are we not winning? It's because it's an objective based game. The way you play Call of Duty is not going to translate into playing Battlefield. This comment by Plusica said, "Battlefield has always been approachable because everyone can contribute. If your aim isn't great, run support. Run engineer and support the tanks. You can still help the team even if you aren't cracked." This comment is great because it shows you don't have to get a lot of kills to be good at Battlefield. Tyrant FNH said, "So far, Battlefield 6 seemed to be trying to cater to the wider casual audience, with no class lock weapons and enemy auto spotting. Also unrelated, but you and Golden Gully share a striking resemblance." Okay, I want to talk about this comment because yes, Battlefield 6 is catering to a wider audience. It's not a mistake that in the beta, they showed a lot of smaller maps compared to other Battlefields, and they put out a lot of small game modes as well. You guys have to understand, Battlefield is also a business. They're trying to pull all those Call of Duty players to their game. So what better way to do that to put out a free beta for 2 weeks for all those Call of Duty players to download it with no money, and they get to play a Call of Duty-like game for 2 weeks and be like, you know what? If the full game's gonna be like this is way better than Call of Duty. I'm going to buy this in October. And that is essentially what they did. A lot of Battlefield fans were upset that they did that. But from their side of things, it's smart. They're also a business. They're trying to make money as well. And I think trying to get as many Call of Duty players out from Call of Duty to their game is something they are trying to do, even if they won't admit that. Because EA and DICE knows that the true Battlefield diehards are going to buy Battlefield 6 no matter what. But what they don't know is all the Call of Duty fans going to buy Black Ops 7 or Battlefield 6, and this beta was a way to lure them in. Blur Reaper 1238 said, "Battlefield and COD are two completely different games. I never understand why people want Battlefield to be a COD killer. It never will be in its league of its own. I just want Battlefield to be classic Battlefield again and COD to be classic COD. Both can live in harmony. Both can 100% live in harmony. But it's absolutely true that both games are going to be different. Why would one game want to resemble exactly like the other? That doesn't make any logical sense. Both games can 100% live in harmony, and you can choose to play whichever one you want. Diddy said, feelings can be faked, but actions are even truer than feels. When Black Ops 7 comes out, let's see what the players' actions are going to tell us. I mean, that's a true comment. When Black Ops 7 comes out, we'll quickly know if the game is going to be any good or not. I made a video on my channel asking people in the beta, are they Call of Duty fans or Battlefield fans? And a lot of the Call of Duty fans said they were just sick of what Call of Duty is doing. And if Black Ops 7 is the same way, I think Battlefield might be in the lead. Now, this comment by Will Elk says, I'll play how I want. It's a game. Who cares about wins? I want to have fun, and I do that by playing however I feel like. Battlefield isn't anything more than a big map multiplayer. Yeah, so this one didn't sit well with the Battlefield. Now, in his defense, he can play the game however he wants to play. But the issue is he's going against a big Battlefield community who are super opposed to things like that. The Battlefield community only cares about wins. They are a team-based community. So when someone comes into their community saying, I don't care about wins, I just want to play how I want, I want to get the kills that I want to, that's not going to rub the right way. So there you have it. Those are the reasons that I think the Battlefield 6 beta was so successful and why I think the game in October could be one of the biggest FPS games of all time. If you enjoyed this video and want me to make more Battlefield Call of Duty content, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.